In a Copenhagen pizza shop in 1984, a Finnish engineer, Matti Mikkonen, launched the idea of a short message service, something now known as texting. It is estimated that nearly 200,000 text messages are sent every single second. This new technology is an incredible success, except for one thing. Matti Mikkonen never made any money from his innovation. When asked why, he explained, "I didn't think I'd made a patentable innovation." This lack of financial gain isn't due to a lack of product value, marketing, or distribution, but a lack of appropriation advantage. But before we dive into what that is, let's first address what is intellectual property. Intellectual property is ownership, just like you would have a title for a car or a deed for a house, but applied to the occupation of knowledge and connectivity, having exclusive rights to the creation of the mind. And this is important, as many occupations, such as writers, musicians, and scientists, don't produce physical products, but an intellectual one. So, how should this be used? To create an incentive for investors and artists to come up with the next cool thing, and to establish property rights so they can be traded. This allows the creation of markets for technology licenses, which work in a similar manner to royalties in Hollywood. Here's where things get interesting. In today's markets, it is unlikely that you will find one single technology behind a product, many of them having several dozen proprietary technologies behind them. This becomes an issue as the application, maintenance, and enforcement of intellectual property is expensive, and if not prepared, can be a taxing burden on a bewildered company. In researching different aspects and settings of IP management and strategy, our analysis converged them all into one point: integration, which is the key word that companies need to follow in order to seek a profitable use of their intellectual property. This integration should happen on 3 different levels: on a strategic level, an organizational level, and on the level of IP assets. Strategic integration. Many practitioners emphasize the link between technology and business models, and while this is necessary, we found there was a third element that emerges as intrinsically interrelated: IP strategy. For instance, we observed that alternative technology development strategies, which shift towards more open innovation development models, ask for the adoption of alternative IP strategies, which include the creation of patent pools, allowing smart combination of generic and exclusive intellectual property. At the same time, we observed the emergence of new IP strategies, such as proactively out-licensing abandoned technologies or implementing IP modularity triggers and restrictions in terms of technology development. Therefore, it is critical to consider the formation of IP strategy, side-by-side strategic research, and built on the foundation of technology developments. Organizational integration. Ambiguity in terms of governance of IP responsibility within an organization can prove to be a serious threat for the implementation of a business strategy and exposes companies to mismanagement. Finding the right organizational design to integrate IP smoothly across corporate functions can prove to be a powerful differentiator. For instance, legal seeking out where intellectual property can be developed prior to it being developed, having a strong relationship with those inventing, and legal creating a path for them to invent into. Integration of IP assets. At a project level, this is necessary because the commercialization of a new product or the definition of a business model happens through the integration of different patents. So at the corporate level, the evaluation of intangible assets should consider not only individual elements, but the relevance of IP portfolios for the various contingencies a company faces. At the level of partnerships, the negotiation of technological alliances, licensing, and cross-licensing agreements should keep into account the entire collection of IP assets each partner can bring into the project in order to evaluate its relative contribution. To learn more about intellectual property in a corporate setting and appropriation advantage, please follow the link below to read the entire paper written by Alberto de Minin and Dries Faems.